Hello everyone and welcome back to my space. My name is Ebube. If you are seeing my face for the first time, you're welcome to my space. Here we talk about health education, sex education and health in general, okay? So stay tuned. Today we are going to be comparing implantation bleeding versus period bleeding. You heard me right. Implantation bleeding versus period bleeding. So we are going to be comparing them with their color, duration, intensity of each. So stay tuned if you want to learn a lot from this video, okay? So what is implantation bleeding? Implantation bleeding, this is a spotting or a light bleeding that occurs when a fertilized egg attaches itself to the wall of the uterus. All this big English I'm talking is when an egg is already fertilized and it attaches itself to the wall of the uterus. That is when early pregnancy states. Yes, let's just leave it that way. It's sometimes if you have implantation bleeding, it's pregnancy. That's just all those big English, the first big English, that's what it is. Okay, so that's implantation bleeding. So when does this implantation bleeding occurs? This implantation bleeding occurs 6 to 12 days after ovulation or fertilization of that egg. Remember what I said about the egg being attached to all those. So when does this implantation bleeding occurs? It occurs 6 to 12 days after ovulation or after fertilization. While period bleeding, don't forget we are comparing the two, period bleeding and implantation bleeding. While period bleeding occurs your normal cycle of period, your normal menstrual cycle. Yes, your normal menstrual cycle is when your period comes. So the color now, since we are comparing the two, the color of implantation bleeding is usually light pink in color. Why period is, we already know period, we already know how period bleeding is dark color, bright red color, but implantation bleeding is pinkish in color. You understand? That's the two different ways to identify it in color. So the flow or the flow rate now of implantation bleeding. Implantation bleeding, unlike period that you have to change your pad like 2 to 3 times a day, implantation bleeding might not be even enough to full a pad in 24 hours. Yes, because it's more or less spotting. There's nothing there to flow. It is a spotting. It's not flow of blood from the uterus as menstruation is. Okay. So the next we are going to be comparing the two is by clots. Implantation bleeding, you don't have any clots like period, but period, you will see clots of blood in period. There are small clots of blood we see during period, right? Yes. So you'll be able to identify implantation bleeding from what? Normal menstrual cycle. But here is a tricky thing in implantation bleeding now. This implantation bleeding, it might occur during your menstrual cycle. That's if you are pregnant. That's the tricky part. It might occur during your menstrual cycle and it has all the premenstrual cycle symptoms, you understand? Like nausea, vomiting, cramping and all of that. But the only difference is the spotting. Although menstruation, you'll experience all those premenstrual headache, vomiting, cramping and all of that, but the difference is in the volume, the clot, the color, and all of that I've already said before this. And note, before you say, I gave birth to 2 or 3 of my children, I not experience implantation bleeding. Most people don't experience it. It's not a must, it's not a criteria for someone to be pregnant. Most people don't experience implantation bleeding. So if you experience it, good and fine. If you don't experience it, it's still very good. So it's not a must that someone must experience implantation bleeding. So lastly, before I end this video, note that implantation bleeding, or rather spotting, let's use spotting, occurs due to different other reasons. It might not be because it is pregnancy or any other thing. Spotting occurs normally. Hormonal change causes it. Infections too might cause it. So if you're spotting and you're not pregnant, please visit your doctor. And even if you are pregnant and you are spotting or you're having implantation bleeding, you are still going to visit a doctor to like analyze and check and diagnose you. You understand? So that's all for the implantation bleeding versus period bleeding. I hope you find this video interesting. If you do, please subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you experience implantation bleeding. Comment down below so you share your experience with us. So thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.